Oh, good morning. It's been a crazy morning so far. I didn't think it was so crazy till about 20 minutes or 30 minutes ago when I finally came to the computer. I began my morning out in the atrium this morning under the light of the full moon where I could barely see any stars. Some of the brighter ones, which were probably planets, still you could still see them, but the moon was so bright and the birds were singing so beautifully. I mean, I just stayed out there an extended period of time. I knew I wasn't going to make my 4:44 starting time, but I figured, oh well, I'll make the 5:22 starting time. And when I came to the computer, I sat down and wrote a little blurb on what I would be talking about today. And then when I went to actually start the video, it said that the camera was in use by another program, and so I shut some programs down and reopened them, and I finally had to reboot my computer to get it ready to start again. So it took me a little bit of extra time this morning. I know none of those things ever happen to you, but they do happen to me from time to time. In fact, of all the things that I use in my life, my computer probably frustrates me the most as far as machines, and yet it works fine most of the time, but every once in a while something that I don't understand happens and I have to start over again, and sometimes maybe we need to be rebooted as well. I'm speaking for myself, maybe you don't, but I guess I do. Anyway, the topic that I chose this morning was community in our extended family, because as I was sitting out in the atrium, again under the light of the full moon, I was just reminiscing about all the connections that I have, not only in my life in the community that I live in here in Central Florida, but online as well. And I'm realizing the gift that I've been given in my extended family. For most of my life, at least once I stopped being a fundamentalist Christian and stepped outside the box, I wasn't getting support from my family. Actually, criticism, or worse than criticism. In many cases, just simply silence. No communication at all. But as I looked back on this, and I realized that throughout my life, there's always been a nucleus of people, at the very least, that have been there to at least hear me and share with me. And I've been blessed in that way. Some of you have written me and said you feel like you have no one. And I can't imagine not having anyone in your life that you can be yourself with, that you can share with. Because I've been blessed, and I know what a blessing it is to have people in your life that love you at whatever level we're able to love. And none of us, I'm convinced that none of us yet are able to love to the degree that we're going to be able. We're developing that interconnectedness with each other, or I should say the practical aspect of the interconnectedness with each other. The interconnectedness has always been there, but we weren't always conscious of it. In this ninth wave, we're becoming conscious of much that has been unconscious to us for lifetime after lifetime in most of our lives. But I was just reminiscing, as I said, about all the people that I've connected with since I've started this thing, but thinking about the New Way and Christopher Timms and his mystery schools, and the spiritual community that I have through metagroups, and the people that I know. I mean, it's just amazing. Margie and the workshops. And when now that I'm bringing Margie up, one of my Facebook, YouTube friends from Iceland is in the United States and is actually going to be coming and doing Margie's workshop, not this weekend, but next weekend. And so I want to just put an invitation out there. Margie tells me she still has some openings for this month's workshop. And so if the workshop, an emotional healing workshop where there's lots and lots of love experienced, if that's something that you feel drawn to, please contact me. Send me some information and I'll put you in touch with Margie, and we'll see if you can't be here with us for this week, not this weekend, but this coming weekend, the last weekend of the month. What is it, the 20, let me look at the calendar here. Yeah, it's the 28th, 27th, 28th, and 29th of May. So if you have that date available and can come to Central Florida, we can work out some details with you. Get in touch with me, and I'll put you in touch with my friend Margie. And the new way, I'm still going to put Sue's message up when I get it, but I still don't have it. My young man who, again, who does the recordings and has it on his computer, and he lives 40, 50 miles from me, way up at the other end of the county. And he's been in final exams. He graduates, I guess, on Friday this week, and he still has not gotten me the video that I really want to show about Sue talking about Jesus. But anyway, one of the exciting things is one of my other Facebook, YouTube friends that lives out in the western part of the United States, New Mexico actually, wants to start a new way out there. And oh my God, that's so exciting. When I shared that Monday night with Sue and the group that meets on Monday nights, which is a really nice little tight group of 20 something, excuse me, 20 something people. I mean, there were people wiping the tears from their eyes as I shared the letter from the people out in New Mexico that want to start the new way, a branch of the new way out there. But these are opportunities to build communities. And when we don't have, everybody needs a local community. I'm convinced of it, because you need the touch. You need the ability to be able to hug and see each other face to face. But there's also this community online, which is absolutely amazing. And as I read some of the comments this morning, I don't even have my email program opened. When I rebooted, I didn't bother even opening the email program. But I was going to share something, and I just realized that now I don't have it to share because the program's not open. So I'm going to skip that this morning. But some of the messages that I get from y'all, from my friends around the world, I mean, are so moving, so amazingly moving. And it enables me to feel connected with you, as many of you share pretty deep things that are going on in your lives. I mean, I go through periods where I don't get as much personal sharing. Then I go through periods where people are sharing very, very deeply. And after this Saturday's video, which now has over 2,000 views, I'm getting a lot of even new people signing up on Facebook and YouTube. And I mean, this whole thing that's happened this year for me has blown me away. Because while I always had community, oftentimes even in the community, I felt like I was standing alone. Because I was aware of what was happening politically, and so many people didn't care about what was happening politically in the world. They didn't see that as being connected to anything spiritual. That's beginning to change, and people are waking up, and I see that in the emails that I get from people, and I see that even among those that I rub elbows with on a weekly basis. And it's a beautiful thing to have people in community, in the extended family, waking up and supporting and saying, oh, I'm getting it, Ron, I'm getting it. I'm finally seeing that everything is connected. I can't leave anything out. Now, there are still people that choose to remain aloof because they like to be in their little world of ignorance. And one lady actually said to me this week that she chooses her Pollyanna world. I mean, she's comfortable there, and it's her life. And if that's where you are, it's your life. I'd like to encourage everyone to expand and allow the love to grow in you so that you can embrace everything, but if you can't, you can't. You are where you are. And as I've always said, it's important. It's so important that you be you. One of the letters, the letter that I was going to share was a man talking about, his name was Paul, I believe. He was talking about for 20 years he was following a guru and he realized how he had given his power away. And what he has come to realize is the importance of sovereignty. That was our subject yesterday, and it's been something that I've mentioned time and again on these broadcasts or on these telecasts or whatever you want to call them, podcasts. The importance of understanding that we are sovereign individuals. That is our spiritual heritage. That is our natural right. It has nothing to do with religion. It has nothing to do with what country we live in. It has to do with knowing who we are as individuals. And how did I get from community to sovereignty? Aren't they on opposite poles? No, they're not. Actually, as we understand our sovereignty and we are willing to become more genuine in our own individual lives and more expressive and more truthful and more vulnerable and more authentic, as we're willing to go there, community naturally develops around that. Because when I find that when I'm willing to be more vulnerable, when I'm willing to tell it like it is, or like I'm feeling it, or like I'm thinking it, it does attract people to me that can be with me in that. And it's my soul family. My flesh and blood family, as I said earlier, forget it. I mean, they don't get me. And they don't have to, but I have soul family that does get me. When I think of my internet family, I mean, two people always jump out at me immediately, Kirk and Paige. But there are so many of you that touch me on a regular basis. And I mean, please forgive me. I don't want to go and start naming people. But there's so many of you that have sent me things that have lifted me at the right time, that I've had to watch a video that you sent or words that you shared with me or your situation that you've shared. Things have touched me in such a deep way that I can't help but be so amazingly blessed and thankful for my extended family that Spirit is connecting me with. And I can't wait. I listened to, oh God, what was his name? The guy from Australia, George Casavalis, or however you say his last name, Casavalis, or I listened to some of his videos that somebody sent me yesterday. I listened to those, well, one of them last night and one of them earlier during the day. And I know I forgot what I was going to say about him. But anyway, he talked about the cosmic family. Although he's even more paradoxical than I am. I'll tell you that. One message, I didn't think he was saying that the Ascended Masters are going to deceive us at the end of one of his the video that I listened to last night. And earlier he was talking about connecting with the extended family and the Ascended Masters. We're going to connect with them. So I don't know which he's saying. I mean, it was confusing to me, and I'm not going to go back and try to listen to it again. Sometimes I say paradoxical things too that seem like the exact opposite, and I'm sure that confuses some people. So I'm not going to make a big deal out of it, but I'm excited about connecting with my spiritual family from the cosmic level, as well as what I'm doing now on the international level, and as well as what I'm doing on the local level. This is a beautiful time to be alive. And I want to just thank you for being part of my extended family, for listening to me, many of you every day, and some of you when you can. But I want to encourage you to connect with people, but to be yourself as well. Share your life with others and let others share their life with you, because that's a beautiful thing. And it's what this ninth wave is all about. Unity consciousness. I leave you with these thoughts. Namaste.